Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson, and this is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
So tonight, we are counting down to the sci-fi sitcom. Yeah, sitcom.
Countdowning?
Yeah, like 10, 9...
5, 4, okay, right.
Down to the TV sitcom called The Red Dwarf, which is a TV series back in the 1980s and now has been continued running for the last few years.
It's still going, yeah. Oh, yeah. They had the odd year off here and there, but the series keeps regenerating.
Just like Doctor Who. And just like Doctor Who, it has continued to grow with age. And it makes me think of this. Well, this sci-fi makes me think of a lot of other sci-fis in the past, like maybe Star Trek, maybe a bit of Lost in Space, and maybe a little bit of Alien too. I mean, Alien, the movie.
All those good things. Yeah,
it makes me think of that because it deals with being lost in space, getting stuck in reanimation, and
reanimation.
I mean, animation,
suspended
animation, and a lot of other weird stuff that happens in this production.
And there's a cat in it.
Yep. It must be what was it? What's the cat's name again from Alien?
Jonesy, I think.
Jonesy the cat.
Well, this guy's not Jonesy. Anyway.
No, this is not Jonesy. No. I mean, this is Mike will explain.
Okay, right. Well, I'll go through my usual goodies here. Okay, as Sarah said, this is a sci-fi comedy franchise, sitcom, blah, 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 whatever.
Blah, blah.
The English one, been going for quite a few years. Now, some of you will say, oh, I've seen it. Yeah, some of you haven't seen it, okay, come on.
And some people may think it's not another series of Red Dwarf. Please, can we have something else?
Well, hey, some people... I actually didn't watch Red Dwarf when it first came out anyway, so must be some other people out there not watching it either. So, I've only got into it over the past couple of years.
Yeah, a lot of people have told me about it and said it's a long-going series that goes way back many years.
Yeah, start off, I think...
And I wanted to go back and check it out and see what is the problem with it.
I think it mainly aired... We'll start off about...
1988.
1988, yeah. Mm-hmm. Over and been on and off for a couple of decades.
About this time. I probably would have been about 2 or
about 12
3 years
seasons.
of age.
There's been about 12 seasons in the movie made, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And here we go. Like, okay, genre, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah.
Created by Rob Grant and Doug Naylor.
Yeah.
Based on a book, I gather, Dave Holland's Space Cadet, by obviously Rob Grant and Doug Naylor again. Now, I've got several directors. I won't go through who they are.
Yeah, that'll be too many.
Oh, wait, no, a couple. Here they are. Juliet May, Grant Naylor, Andy Eminoy, and Doug Naylor.
Yeah.
Now, the stars. The people who make it happen.
Of course.
Well, the interesting bits anyway.
All the interesting people.
Yeah, okay, the characters. Okie dokie. The main one is played by Craig Charles. He plays David Lister. Now, he's a slob. That's it. He's a slob. He is the lowest ranking class in the whole spaceship.
He's practically the janitor.
Well, the janitor's probably is above him, probably. But anyway, he's lazy, sleazy, just wants to hit the booze and the food and sleep, Anyway, he's the main star in this. He's accompanied by a dead guy who's a hologram, played by Chris Barry. He plays Arnold Rimmer. And I didn't know before, Arnold Rimmer's middle name is Judas.
Really?
And that suits him right down to a T because he's such a mongrel and everything else. Anyway. Now, they've got a mutated cat, which is a humanoid now.
Yeah, he's hilarious and funny.
John-Jules plays the cat. And he's really... Well, he's really out there.
He is really out there. I think his costume arrangements is really...
He's great. He's really flamboyant and everything else.
Very flammy and very cool.
Yeah. Now, I won't go for everybody else. There's a couple of other people, but one more. they have a computer
Yeah.
and a floating face. Norman Lovett plays Holly, short for, I don't know, Holly. But
Yeah.
he's a bit like a hologram of the computer. But
Yeah, I think years later, I think in series 3, I think it was.
a changeover
They
to
changed
a
it
female.
to a female.
Yeah, it's
I
called Hilly.
guess they thought maybe they should have more females in it.
No,
maybe.
because he'd come back into it later on.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Yes.
I think I like that whole no man on board. You're left wondering, will they ever meet another female? It's just like the Navy, where in the olden days where they used to have only men on board and they didn't they didn't hang out with the opposite sex or got the chance to because they had to work all the time.
Yeah, whatever.
But I just think it's kind of cool, that they're just all men and they don't have female companions around hovering over them, and it just makes it for an interesting story when you think about it. That they're just deprived of that particular piece of the puzzle.
Anyway, it's going to be hard being an ongoing series. So what we've decided to do, we're going to talk about the first episode, the pilot, and a couple of things about the series in general. But I'll let Sarah take over and we'll talk about some other goodies later.
Right. So the story begins. Da da da. Red Dwarf. Da 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 da. I don't remember the theme, but I know
Whatever.
it's pretty an interesting one.
Well, ain't Star Wars. So
No.
No.
It's just so interesting, and I do think the spaceship was pretty cool. Red and with the words "Red Dwarf"
written on the side.
And then we cross over to Lester and Rimmer.
You can't list his name's Lister.
Lister and Rimmer. They're doing maintenance work on parts of the ship, and Rimmer keeps on telling him, "No, this is not the right gear. You stop whistling, stop humming,
singing, whatever,
stop everything."
Take your job seriously.
And he keeps putting on reports saying that Lister must not has been humming, singing, and
keep me quiet.
And keep quiet, all that stuff.
Because he told me to keep quiet, don't say anything. Then he asked a question. Then he mouthed the words without saying anything. So he sort of he had a sick sense of humour. It was very nice.
Yeah, and Lister, he also calls Rimmer a smeghead.
Now we think.
Don't say it, Mike.
No, smeghead. I think is actually
On this
replacing two words. Because sometimes the S word fits in quite nicely, and the other four-letter word fits in quite nicely too. So, considering it's a general exhibition show, there's no swearing.
Yeah, this is for I don't know
general exhibition.
General family audiences maybe.
So
considering.
But schmeghead could be, you know what I mean.
Yeah, this is a channel, and I don't want anyone thinking we swear.
They'll be barred. The critics, the censors wouldn't like it.
Anyway, one of the member of the crew has died, and not only that, that's not really important. Dear old Lester is harboring a pet cat named Frankenstein.
You've got a cute little black pussy cat.
Who's pregnant. A female cat, just
Female cat called
so you're not
Frankenstein.
confused by the name. And then the commander, the captain, tells him, "Have you got a cat recently?" And Lister says, "No, I haven't." But he has taken photos of the cat in this laboratory, and I guess the captain
There's
got
a picture of him holding the cat.
Yeah.
Oh, that cat.
Yeah, and he reminds Lister about how in the past they had issues with pets, not pets, I mean animals on their ships.
Spaceship. Well, on another spaceship.
On
Remember
other
the one about the
spaceships.
rabbit?
Yeah, and he thinks that cat could go and nibble bits and parts of the spaceship and stuff. And he says he wants that cat and he wants to dissect it. And of course, Lister says, "If I hand over the cat, what will you do with it?" He says, "I'll dissect it and cut it up." And he says, "Would you put it back together again?" And
then he says, "What's in it for the cat?" No, yeah.
No.
Well, whatever. Just get over it.
Anyway, And the captain tells him, if he does not hand over the cat, he will be docked a few wages and
he said he's going to be put into stasis, cryogenics, suspended animation, for the next 18 months without pay.
Meaning he won't have any money because he has this plan after a few trips around the galaxy. He plans on going to Fiji and develop a farm, a few chickens, horses and cows, and some sheep, and hopefully look after Frankenstein while down there.
And the children.
Yeah, and also hopes to have his crush, Chrissy, to come along with him, even though we don't know. However, now that he says, no, I'm not going to hand over Frankenstein.
The captain puts him into...
You guessed it.
Stasis. So he's stuck in time, but it's not frozen in time. He said it's a stasis field. When you go in there, you don't exist in time. So when you come out a couple of seconds later, 18 months has passed.
Yeah.
So he thought.
Yeah, while this is happening, Rimmer is trying to take the exams to become an officer. See, he's a janitor just like us.
Well, not a janitor, just a general hand mechanic.
Yeah, a mechanic or a hand.
Bottom,
and he wants to be an officer. That's his ambition in life, for him to be one up on everyone.
Anyway, he stuffs up a repair job, which effectively kills everybody on the spaceship.
Yeah.
But a radiation leak, I believe.
Yeah, and while this is happening, Lister is in hibernation.
Yes. And the cat is protected inside the ship's hull. It's protected from the radiation somehow or other. Yeah. Don't ask me what it's living on or drinking or where it's doing its kitty doodahs.
Anyway, how many years was it that?
About 3 million years.
Yeah, 3 million years after the radiation went to dissolved or disappeared.
Yeah, it had dissipated a little bit before the computer would let him out of the cryogenic state.
Yeah, he gets out and he's wandering the hallways. He sees white powder on the tables, chairs, everywhere, and he asks Holly, "What's happened?" And he says, "Everybody's dead."
Dave.
And he says this several times until
some say dead. Yeah, everyone's dead.
Yeah, Dave. He says this several times, and then Holly says after Lester gets it. Lister. I'll just call him by his first names, guys. Dave. Dave. After Dave finally gets it.
Oh, you mean all dead?
And Holly says, I should have just kept him back in.
Kept him in there. Put him back in the fridge.
Now he knows that everyone's dead, and he feels bad that Chrissy's dead too, because he had that crush on her.
It wouldn't work out the age difference. He's 3 million years. He's 3 million years old now.
Yeah.
So.
And then we see a hologram image of Rimmer. As it turns out, he's dead too, but
the computer brought him back to life to give him some company so he wouldn't go crazy.
Oh, man.
He could have picked somebody else.
He could think of somebody. Maybe Chrissy, but then again, that would be a little bit of a problem.
Well, looky but no touchy. Yeah, because the hologram's only made out of light.
It would be a relationship with... a platonic relationship.
Plutonic, exactly. Very plutonic.
A forced platonic relationship.
Yes, like a light bulb.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Anyway... it's kind of funny because he's a little annoyed that Dave went into the stasis and has left him to look after that thing that blew up and caused the whole problem with the crew being dead and stuff like that.
Yep.
But it's not Dave's fault. I mean,
he wasn't there.
He wasn't there, so it was his problem.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway. So, they continue on, and we then get introduced to the cat, or cat.
Well, the cat is never given a name through the whole series. They just call him...
Cat.
Cat, or the cat, in reference to... The cat.
Yeah. He makes weird noises. He acts like a cat.
You imagine a human being trying to act like a cat.
Yeah, he's like, ooh, look at my shadow. Ooh, look at my 2 feet. Ooh, look at me. And look how pretty I look.
Yeah, he's always preening himself. And
always doing, like, cat things, like licking.
Yeah.
And licking, and anything he touches
and you like shiny things and pretty clothes. Yeah, he's dressed in fantastic clothing compared to everybody else. Yeah.
Anyway, he then meets Dave and Rimmer, and at first they're a bit surprised by his appearance because technically no one else was alive on the board. And he's new. He's a new face.
Well, the cat hadn't seen these guys before.
Yeah, he tries to say, "Ooh, I must look big," and he starts looking like a vampire. Ah!
Cats usually arch their back and everything and look aggressive. Yeah. That's what he was trying to do.
And bear in mind, he has like these two canine teeth, very long canine teeth, like a vampire.
That's really weird, though.
Right.
The word canine teeth. We got canine teeth.
Yes.
Referring to a dog because they got those long teeth at the top and bottom. Yeah. Now, does that mean all animals have canine teeth? Wouldn't a cat have feline teeth and a bear have bear teeth or whatever?
You may have a point there, but anyway, it does not. And so Dave asks Holly, the computer, where did he come from? And he says that your cat has been in the hold for so many years and its descendants has evolved and from...
Well, he said... the same way human beings evolved from the apes.
Yes.
Over the past 3 million years, the cats have developed from being a cat into a human-like creature.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Yeah. Grimmer tries to attack it, but he's a hologram. He can't touch it. He can't touch anything. He forgets this sometimes. It's hilarious.
He does, he's an idiot. Yeah.
Anyway, Dave eventually befriends Cat and feeds him some milk and biscuits. And he says, "Whoa, you monkeys still eat on the floor?" And he says, "Oh, sorry, Cat," and puts it on the table. And he says, "Really?" And then he starts eating it like a cat by putting his face into the bowl.
Putting his face in the bowl.
Like that. And then anyway, Dave makes a plan of going back to Earth. Of course, Rimmer says, "What's the chances of everything is the same on Earth again?"
3 million years? They may not even be there.
Dolphins may have taken over the Earth by now.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
or worse, politicians.
Anyway, he doesn't matter. And he says, "I have a cat. It's not Frankenstein, and I have my health, and now we're going to go to Fiji. That's where we're going."
And Rimmer says, "Well, it gets probably 3 foot underwater now."
Yes. And
what are you going to do about that? Get water wings for your sheep?
Even the cat, he sees the whole thing, his whole Frankenstein great-great-grandmother is actually like a virgin birth, like Mary, like Holy Mary or something like that.
Yeah, they sort of worked that in a little bit.
Yeah, the kind of...
they didn't know who the father was, so it was just... She gave birth to her kittens on a spaceship. There was no father involved. So
and they see this Dave as some kind of holy person,
a god almost. Yeah,
and they see Fiji as a bit of a promised land.
Exactly.
Sort of like
Moses,
only different. And I would go a step for further that the cats, the other cats I mentioned. They've left the ship and tried to make it on their own to find
the promised land.
But they got the name wrong.
Fuchsia into the Fiji, and one of those.
And they called Dave Cloister. Don't ask me why.
No, the name got corrupted. Didn't the Cloister settle this stuff? Anyway, what was I going to say? One of the cats' spaceships flew into a meteor, and the other one went off to parts unknown, not knowing where they're going to.
Yeah, left with and with a shopping list. A laundry list that Lester left behind.
And they thought it was a holy book or a map or something.
Yeah, and I won't tell you go any further there because that would go.
Cats aren't really bright.
That would go too far. So anyway, that was episode 1, and and then the series goes on as. They go
as they interact in different problems and stuff.
They go to probably some parts of eventually to Earth, but sometimes things are not what they seem.
Well, they can't do anything. There's one part in one of the shows they went through. Later on in the series, a robot comes on ship somehow. They found him somewhere, and he's developing some photographs, but they're 4-dimensional. They're actually moving. And you can actually go inside them. So they try to go back to Earth, but you're limited to the frame. You can't go outside the frame.
Yeah.
So they try to change the past by using their photographs, saying, if I change my past, I wouldn't be killed or I won't be on the spaceship or something or other. And rather interesting things happen when I try to change the past. It doesn't bloody work.
Yeah, the same with another one. They tried to come back to the Earth, and it was modern days, like now, or well, considering for them it was now, and it the big problem was everything was in reverse, like
right.
rewind.
People walk backwards, cars drove backwards, people spoke backwards, and
Yeah, can you imagine having to live a life where you have to, instead of drinking a drink, you have to
get an empty glass, and then you
throw up the drink.
You pretty much regurgitate the drink into the glass.
Yeah.
And they give you money for it. Hey, that's not bad. If you're a heavy drinker, you make a lot of money.
Agreed.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a very confusing situation, and not a one to get used to because the people will be speaking backwards.
Yeah, something like that.
You can't really, unless you be able to read.
Well, you have to learn how to
subtitles.
talk backwards.
Yeah, that would be difficult. That'll have to mean unlearning everything you learnt from the past. That would be difficult. Anyway, so that was episode 1, and I think I do think the series is worth watching, guys.
But yeah, there's lots of interactions there, and obviously, when you're working with something like primarily 4 people all the way through the series, they do have the odd interaction with something else occasionally, but it's just the 4 of them. I think the 4 people in the show hold it together really good, and they're genuinely funny, especially the guy playing Lister.
Lister.
What's his name again?
Craig Charles.
Yeah, Craig Charles. He is, how do you put it? He plays a slob. The same way Belushi would play a slob. Like in Blues Brothers and stuff.
Oh, yes.
That sort of thing, yeah. And, that's it. He's just funny. He's a funny slob with no motivation to do anything apart from just sleep, eat, and get drunk and whatever. So have a wonderful time. And, and he plays the part so damn well. And Chris Barry plays a stuck-up, self-opinionated hologram, and he's been in a few shows. The British Empire.
I know that one. He really pulls off the role in that one, even though it's just dead-on similar sort of thing. Same
sort of thing. I know everything. I'm fantastic, but he's normally the butt of all the problems happening around him. He has to fix up his problems, but he says, I solved the problem sort of thing, but he actually created the problem. So, it's self-opinionated sort of stuff. The guy, Danny John-Jules, who plays the cat. I don't know how the hell he got away with that and figured out how to do the rob. Hang on, where's your old your reference point? How no one's done it before. I'm going to be a cat. Now, what am I going to do to be a cat? I know, I'll do that. And he's just over the top. He's really, really funny. And then you get good old Holly, played by Norman Lovett. He talks almost in a monotone there, almost expressionless. He tries to be funny occasionally, it sneaks in, but generally a monotone, expressionless hologram who's probably just as funny as Craig Charles, but in a different way. The stuff he comes out with is totally ridiculous.
Yeah. I certainly like the cat. He's hilarious.
I was talking about the computer.
I know, but I did like the cat. That's one of, after...
We're going back to the cat. Okay,
I just like him when he says, whoa! All that weird stuff, like he was... Whenever you see something weird, especially if it's something a cat would enjoy.
Yeah,
whoa, Grease!
He sees Lister's got a goldfish. He wants to eat goldfish.
I'm going to eat you, fishies.
We get all the food on the spaceship we get to eat, but he wants this live fish in a fishbowl. He goes to a restaurant, where they're going through what's a virtual reality computer game.
Better Than Life, I think it was
Better
called.
Than Life. And he's there, and they go to the restaurant. Lister's having a nice caviar vindaloo or something rather.
Whatever they call it.
And the cat says, I'll have so-and-so or other. And they bring him over a little small aquarium full of live goldfish.
Yeah.
Do you want them cooked? No, live's fine.
Yeah, he likes them moving.
Moving, yeah. So it's just
Yeah, and he's out, and he takes a little small fishing line.
And he's funny, and he really plays, really hams it up really good. Yeah,
I love it with the little fishing line he had.
Yeah, little 6-inch fishing line going fishing in the fishing. What? Haven't you heard of a tea strainer or something or other? Would have been easier,
Yeah.
Little fishing net,
It's so cute.
But look, there's about 12 seasons done over about 20 years, isn't it? Because they're still making them, but they have a break occasionally.
Yeah.
But I've got to say that I haven't seen every episode. I haven't seen the later episodes, but the early episodes, they've been well received. Mm-hmm. They got millions of viewers per episode. And they've generally been well received, not just in England and Australia. Probably, I believe in America. At one stage there, they tried to get an American version off the ground, but I think the pilot didn't hit the mark, so they didn't proceed with it.
Oh, and this might be a spoiler, but I remember when Rimmer got that cut from Holly. Holly always gives, seeing as Rimmer is a hologram, he kind of changes Rimmer's outfits and stuff like that.
Clothes, everything, and helps to groom him a little bit. Yeah,
and in one scene we see him give him a haircut, which makes him look like he's wearing a beehive hairdo.
He gave the computer a hard time.
Yes,
he sold it.
Told him.
He said, "I want a nice haircut. Nice and short and everything." So he gave him a lady's haircut, a big one. He said, "I look like Helen Shapiro."
Then he yells for a Holly, and he says, "This is a recording. Holly's not here at the moment, so please leave your name at the sound of the bleep."
Beep.
Bleep.
So,
I love it.
But
he's hilarious.
Just little things. He just Holly has got so much power over Rimmer. Rimmer doesn't know. He can just do resume anytime he likes, but he doesn't.
They also have small robots.
A little bit,
dialects. I don't know.
Not dialects. A bit like R2D2, but smaller, just with a neck and a
little hand.
A hand on top, so they can do menial tasks like cleaning up and doing little things.
I still don't like the stuff they get up to, like dressing up.
They're playing cowboys and Indians at one stage. One was wearing feathers like an Indian. One had a cowboy hat on and a cap gun. Yeah.
It was so cute. It was cute.
Yeah, like kiddies playing.
And I like the one scene where they're watching. They're in the cinema on the ship, and they're just watching a Western movie, I think it was.
And Rimmer comes in, "You're not supposed to be here, you're supposed to be working." And they hold up a dustpan and broom.
Yeah, and then one of them gives...
You can't fool me, no one's been there to clean up,
Yeah, and then one of the robots gives him the finger.
The finger? Oh, yeah, the forks, actually, 2 fingers. Yeah. 2 fingers, yeah.
I should have said that
It wasn't V for victory either. Yeah. It was the other way around. Yeah.
It was hilarious. It's cute.
But no, it's just little things. It's just little snippet humour and one-liners and stuff, which really makes this series work.
I like Craig. I like his. I think he's kind of cute. I mean, he's not a hottie. I think he's kind of adorable.
If he wasn't in this show being normal, he'd probably be a very likeable, funny guy to hang out with. Mm-hmm. How's that? But he's like he's being a slob and over the top of this and whatever. And
imagine deep down he might be a nice person to hang out with.
Yeah. And Chris Barry, Rimmer, is probably not full of himself and arrogant and nasty and horrible and
just
petty
the roles he had to play.
Yeah, just the role he does. It's like what's his name? What's that English actor? Is it Terry Thomas? Plays upper class twit in every movie. He's nothing like that. He played that role once in a movie and it worked so good. Every time they're looking for an upper class twit back in those days of a movie, he'd get the job.
Yeah, I think it's the same with this one, Rimmer, the actor playing Rimmer. He probably was that's why he was approached to do the British the British TV show, the one about
the British Empire.
British Empire.
BRITTAS, isn't it? Something.
Yeah. That's why they kind of assign him to do that series.
Same sort of personality. Which he does quite well.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the cat in something else, but no.
Yeah.
I have seen him actually. The cat's been in Death in Paradise TV series.
Yeah.
He plays one of the police guys. Now, if any of you people overseas there have actually seen Death in Paradise, good series. My wife watches that one. But he plays one of the police officers.
Yeah, anyway, do you want to rate this now?
Well, I can't think of too much to say, but I will. I have a few notes here. I'll see if there's anything worthwhile talking about.
Okay.
Casting.
Oh, I would like to hear about reception.
I will in a minute.
Okay, sorry.
Casting. There's some funny things in casting. There's little snippets of people you don't even think would be interested.
Okay, this will be interesting.
Alan Rickman and Alfred Molina auditioned for roles in the series, with Molina being cast as Rimmer. However, after Molina had difficulty with the concept of the series and his role in particular, the role was recast and filled by Chris. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, here we go. Craig Charles, a Liverpudlian. That's for you in America and some of the other people around the world. That's somebody who comes from Liverpool in England. Okay. Is a punk poet, is a comedian probably, and was given the role of Dave Lister. He was approached by the production team for his opinion about the cat character, and they were concerned that he may be considered by people as racist, so they didn't do that.
Ooh.
And then we got now like stand-up comedian Norman Lovett. He obviously got the role as the computer straight up because of his dry humour. So, and Danny John-Jules arrived half an hour late for his appointment, stood out as a cat immediately, and got the job.
Hooray!
That was it. So sometimes it falls together quite nicely. Yeah. But like I said, it went on for about 12 seasons and one movie. They've had a few breaks here and there. They tried to do an American version of it. The pilot didn't work, so they didn't do it.
What was it called, the American one?
Red Dwarf USA, probably. I just said American version of it. I didn't say spin-off.
Okay, sorry. I thought they might use a different term.
Red Dwarf USA. Right, I said it slowly. Yeah, and that didn't work. So the pilot is actually being pirated, and it's doing the round. So it's probably on YouTube or somewhere. But yeah, people like still do it. But I think they got the casting wrong. Which you got to get the right casting of this sort of humour, and the casting didn't work. And maybe the producers didn't like it, and they said, "Now we're not going to waste money on this crap," and moved on to the next project.
Yeah, that's the thing about competitiveness in this field.
Well, you look at that 1313 Mockingbird Lane. We think that was a great pilot, and that still didn't get off the ground. So, it's really hard.
So let's check out the reception side.
Well, reception, I know the reception. I can't read reception for 12 seasons, okay? Okay. I can go by viewership and other things. It's consistently, there was a dip at one stage. Well, one series was they lost track a little bit, but they got back on the right track again. But generally, they got millions of viewers for each episode.
Really?
Yep. So it had a good following over the years. I think the general consensus is it's funny. That's it. It's funny. People watch it because it's funny. That's it. People, you either like it or you don't like it. But if you're having anywhere from 3, 4, 5, 6 million viewers every time it's an episode, they must be doing something right.
Yeah. If we can't, why don't we just read the run with this on season 1? I mean, considering
they haven't done it. They haven't done the things that way. I can't go, season 1. It's not going to work that way. Not in this one.
I would have thought maybe they would have.
Season 1 started off a little bit slow. Well, no, people didn't know what to expect.
I guess.
It was a new idea. So, it started off slow, but picked up momentum by the end of season 1 going to season 2. It was getting to about 4 million people per view.
Remember the episode where Rimmer discovers a special space pod, and it turns out to be a garbage...
A garbage pod, yeah.
Man.
The words on the outside have been burnt off over the years or rubbed off by space debris and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody in their alien life form. It was
Free breasts.
They found the dead chicken, dead roast chicken, not a real one, and other stuff in there. It was a garbage pod. You would think in the future they would have some like a laser thing to throw the rubbish into, just dissolve it instead of
then again,
coming out in space.
Dave was saying that he knew that when he was looking over the pod, he kind of spelled out the words, what looked like words, and kind of worked out that it was a Red Dwarf garbage thing. And dear old Holly agrees that it was definitely one of their garbage containers that was thrown out into outer space some time ago. And it was just, and he just wanted to continue stringing Rimmer along to see how far or full he would go, which is kind of really good because I liked it how he kept on making out this will be a great way to figure out this new alien species, and he even nicknamed them this new species too, which is even funnier.
Yeah, whatever. I gave him a new name.
Yeah.
Well, he found them, so he got it. But anyway, look, irrespective. If you want to test the water with the series,
which I realize you definitely do.
eBay, plenty for sale. Box sets, everything else, same as Amazon. You can rent it or buy it. It's out there. It's fun. I know it's good, clean, wholesome, fun. A little bit of pure old humour thrown in to keep it interesting or whatever. But generally, it's a fun series. Now, those of you who don't want to commit to it, rent a couple of them.
Yeah,
and if you like it, buy the series. You know,
I suggest watch the first one, then you make your way through if you want.
Well, but if you watch one or buy one episode at a time, it's cheaper to buy the whole series in one hit. So you about maybe $8 for the whole series, and so it saves money. But it's up to you guys. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. It ain't perfect. Nothing's perfect. There you go.
No series is, Mike.
But I'm going to give this about a 9, I think. Only the reason I would have given a bit more, but sometimes with a series, again, you get the same. It's sort of like in MASH where Frank Burns doesn't change,
exactly,
but everybody else does. So Hotland changes, Hawkeye and Trapper change, and the bosses change. Everyone changes a little bit in the personality. In these sort of series, the personalities aren't allowed to change, and they can get a bit tiring after a while.
Yeah. See, Rimmer, of course, has some rain.
Wait a minute, I'm not finished. But the only one I think who really changes much over the period is the cat. In the beginning, he's more of aloof and keeps away from the people, and as the series goes on, he becomes a little bit more close to the people, and actually becomes an active member of the crew to a certain degree. So he does change a bit.
Yeah, I certainly like the wardrobe changes.
He's got lots of cool clothes. I mean, I'm not saying he's being played by a coloured gentleman. I think he might be African or he's dark skinned. I don't know where he comes from. He is really, really funny, and he's cool, and he's a really snappy dresser in this. He's really over the top. He's so freaking funny and weird.
Yeah. I certainly like the changes of clothing with the other actors. Like Dave, he wears he wore ordinary stuff in the first 2 seasons, and then he works his way up, the chain here and there. Of course, most of the stuff is very ordinary.
It's basic stuff.
But eventually...
Rimmer's a hologram. He has the same clothes, or he changed... He has been an admiral.
He wore a lot of uniforms here and there, some swanky stuff. Others were mostly, lower rank stuff, considering he's still considered
a first class engineer or something or other.
Not exactly an officer. Though even as a hologram, he continues to dream of being an officer. And then a captain and whatever ranks that are available.
He's been telling his mother every time he goes to an exam he passes. So he says, I should be in charge of the whole universe by now. So yes, he's been lying to mummy too much.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm going to get a 9. You'll give it. What do you give it?
I'm going to give it a 9 too, guys.
There you go. So look, it's a good watch. It's called Red Dwarf, not the Red Dwarf that someone said earlier.
Really?
It's Red Dwarf, not the Red Dwarf.
Blech.
ugh.
I
It's
would-
not, and Snow White has got nothing to do with it. Okay,
yeah.
right. Yeah.
I bet even some people were wondering why it was called Red Dwarf. I mean, I know it was
It's the name of the spaceship. That's why it's called Red Dwarf. And actually, later in the series, they lose the spaceship anyway, and they're on, if someone takes it, they're on another spaceship. You didn't know that, did you?
Actually, I did roughly.
Okay, smart. Okay. Anyway, I can't. Nothing more to say. Otherwise, I'll start boring people. But it is fun. The characters are believable. It holds together quite nicely. I haven't looked at the later episodes. I'm being honest. I've seen let's say the first half of them. They're all pretty good. But when you're there, yeah. It's if they keep the same momentum going through the whole series. Yeah.
Yeah, there's I think a TV movie called Red Dwarf heading towards the Promised Land. I think it's
Promised Land.
I think it centers around the cats. You know that
heading toward
Fuchsia.
Fuchsia, yeah.
Unaware that they're supposed to be heading towards Fiji,
which is planet Earth. The funny part is, how can they get there without going into cryogenic state? Because it took them 3 million years to get way out the other side of the universe. They've got to turn around and come back, another 3 million years to come back. You would think they'd bung them into stasis and then come out 3 million years later and they're back at Earth, if it's still there.
Yes, to them it's a planet. To the rest of mankind, it's an island. Well, I meant to the cats, it's a planet. To the rest of this world, it's an island in the
I know.
somewhere.
The cat thinks it's something like Eden, paradise, or something or other, the Promised Land. Yeah, not a planet.
Well, they don't know that. They just think Fuchsia is just
it's a Promised Land.
A Promised Land,
Yeah,
possibly a planet. It doesn't say if it was
a
an
location.
island.
That's all I know. It is.
Just a location.
Cats aren't really bright, Yeah. I've got one. She's asleep. Oh, no, not. She's out in the other room.
Yeah. So anyway, I know. I don't think we've discussed it. Did we discuss it already about where we can find Red Dwarf?
I've already said that.
Oh,
eBay has it for sale.
Okay.
Amazon has it for rent or for sale. Test it out by renting one or two, but it's probably better off if you buy the packs.
Yeah, and if you don't want to buy it, you can always try to check out if it's on YouTube or any other types of channels. Check it out.
Test it out. Yeah, YouTube maybe. Have a look at it. Then go and download a couple or buy a couple of seasons. It'd be if you like that sort of humour, it'd be really, really good. Yeah, you go then.
I always think English humour can be really, really good for the soul. Sometimes, if it's good humour.
It is. Anyway, I have nothing more to say.
Me neither. So, anyway, you should check it out. Let us know in the comments which is your favourite episode. It's usually... Eventually.
You have a lot of watching.
You may, unless you're familiar with the series and you know which one's your favourite.
Yeah, you might have already seen the whole series. You might be a bit more up to date than I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or we are.
If you've seen the whole series, you can come back and tell me, do they ever get back to the planet Earth, or are they still travelling? Yeah.
I think they'll always travel around the place.
See, the Land of the Giants never got home.
That's true.
I think the Voyage of Bob and Sea...
And Lost in Space, as I said before.
Didn't have a proper ending. Lost in Space never got home. Yeah, so interesting.
Yeah, I think that's the whole story behind it, that they'll never go back to Earth or find ever get to Fiji.
Well,
considering the fact that it's a million light years away.
3 million.
Okay, 3 million light years away, and it's a big chance that they may get lost in space for all that matter. Considering Holly is not a good.
He's not a smart computer. He's supposed to be smart, but he's going a bit sent off and being alone for 3 million years.
Because he says that he has the IQ of.
He's got 6,000.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got more than you.
Oh.
You're lucky to have 80 to 90. I got about 120.
Yeah, so he has such a big IQ. Like that would be as many as thousands of PE teachers.
Yeah, 6,000 PE teachers. Now, actually, I tested myself a couple of years ago. I got an IQ of about 120 to 125. That's pretty good, actually. But the average person's got about 80 to 90, I think. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. My problem is, I got nothing to use it on. Okay.
Anyway, that's about it for us tonight, guys. So that's everything we need to discuss about Red Dwarf.
Exactly.
So this is Sarah Stephenson.
And Martel.
Saying see you guys around on Boys and Ghouls Film Review. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.